Hi, BookTube. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and it's time for another literary update. Okay, so I am currently focused back on this one. Not much is going on. I feel like Vivian is starting to realize that things are shades of gray, pun intended, in her situation. Like, she's second guessing herself and feeling guilty that her sister is a prisoner of a quote unquote monster, and she's just sitting there drinking bubbly and well, not actually champagne, but this juicy drink, and trying and working with people and making negotiations with people that she doesn't 100% trust, and people that have they are in support of her father and on their father's side, but they've done some shady dealings, and she's really struggling with this. And of course, we know that Ciri is continuing to work with teach the God King Susbron how to read, which again I find that so adorable. And then Lightsong, is still working with Blushweather, trying to investigate, and he's actually getting really excited about getting involved in this. But so like I said, that's not a lot. Is yesterday I need to focus on finished reading Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. And this is probably like my fourth Austen that I've read over time, because I read Pride and Prejudice years and years ago. But this is my this as I said, this is my second favorite Austen. I like the plot. And I love Fanny's character. I mean, she's such a sweet, shy person. I mean, I think she's a very frustrating character also because she never stands up for herself. She's a very shy, quiet person that always trying to be agreeable and be honest, but not cross a line, not question, and always do what she's told. She's very, she's just a good person, a very sweet person. And I feel like the reason why I like her so much is because I kind of feel like I can relate to her as far as her personality goes. Like, I've always been a very shy person. And, she's such a sweet, caring, gentle soul. And I feel like people just, because she's not feisty and strong like Elizabeth Bennet, and she's not as, silly and vain as Emma. And, I mean, she's definitely more like the main character in Persuasion. Although, I don't remember Persuasion Persuasion, like I said, it did not make that much of an impression on me. I mean, I should actually give it, I don't remember how many stars I give it, but I don't know if I give it 3, or I would, if I give 3 stars, I'm almost tempted to change it to 2 stars, because I feel like, I didn't hate the book, but I didn't love it either. It didn't make much of an impression that I don't remember. I don't even remember the two. I remember the guy's name, Captain Wentworth, but I don't even remember the main woman's name. But it's such, it's basically this girl, Fanny Price. She, her mom married beneath her. She has a bunch of kids, and the Fanny, I think, is one of the oldest kids, and then she has a brother who's in the Navy, so he's gone. And she gets sent, because her mom can't take care of her and all of her siblings, she gets sent to live with her aunt and uncle, the Bertrams, Sir Thomas and Lady Bertram. And they have 4 kids of their own, and then she spends her time with them, living with them, and splitting that time between them and Miss Norris, her other aunt. And she, grows up with them, but none of them really are nice to her. They take her for granted. They ignore her. They, just kind of bully her, and it makes it, her story kind of reminds me of Jane Eyre a little bit. And so, and the only person that's ever kind to her is Edmund, her cousin Edmund. He's the only one who shows her affection and kindness, and always tries to make sure she's included and that she's treated equally, and that he stands up for her when no one else will, and she won't stand up for herself, which leads to her falling in love with him. But he doesn't know that. He does not realize that. He just sees her as like a sister. And she doesn't realize how much she has fallen in love with him. So when her uncle Sir Thomas is overseas in Antigua, these people show up, these 2 siblings, Mary and Henry Crawford, which every time I think about them, I always want to say Crawley. but they're not the they're not from Downton Abbey. The Crawfords, and they are charming and clever, and the Bertram siblings are enchanted by them. Edmund falls in love with Mary and, is intrigued by her and fascinated by her, even though they have very different moral standards. And she's a manipulative bitch. And, she doesn't even approve of his profession. He wants to become a clergyman, and she does not approve of that. She's like, why would I want that? That's worth nothing. But he's too oblivious. He's too caught up in his he's too blinded by his rose-colored glasses about this woman. And then she knows how to play him because she knows how much he cares about Fanny. So she's always nice to Fanny and makes Fanny her best friend, even though she's so condescending to Fanny. And basically shares her secrets with Fanny that make her look bad because she thinks, Fanny's not assuming. She won't say anything to Edmund. She doesn't have the guts to say anything to him. And then there's Henry, who flirts with Maria and Julie, which I do not know, because when I looked at SparkNotes just to, get a better idea, because unfortunately, a lot of, and Jane Austen's not the only one. I mean, Charles Dickens is like this, and all the other classic authors are like this, where they write so much that sometimes it's hard to follow along. There's so much description and so many words and they don't get to the point right away. They don't, we're so used to straight to the point writing styles of modern books that is, sometimes it can throw you off a little bit and be a little confusing. So I look at SparkNotes just to get the basic idea of what is going on. And on SparkNotes, her name is Maria. The one sister's name is Maria, but the narrator on the audiobook, Joanne Woodward, calls her Mariah. So I don't know, maybe that's how they spell Mariah in the UK. But it looks like Maria to me. When on the SparkNotes it looks like Maria. So I don't know if it's meant to be Mariah or Maria. I have to look. I have an omnibus edition of all of Jane Austen's works, including Lady Susan, although it doesn't have anything that is not novel related. It's all her books, her novels, and like I said, including Lady Susan. So I have to look at that to see where her name is, see if it's Mariah or if it's Maria. Or like I said, maybe in the UK they call it Mariah is spelled like Maria. But anyway, so the two siblings, Henry, Mary's brother, flirts with both girls, even though one of them, I don't remember which one, is engaged to another guy, and she's all set to marry him, and then turn around and all of a sudden he expresses interest in Fanny. He wants to marry her, and she's all taken aback. She wants nothing to do with this guy. Her opinions of him have been very negative. He has not looked good in her eyes. And all of a sudden he's interested in her. And he wants to marry her, and she's like, no, they're like, her uncle, when he comes back and he finds this out, he's like, and him and Henry are like, oh, she doesn't know her own mind. She'll change it. And even Edmund thinks that, oh, she's going to change her mind, and, oh, you're going to marry him, I'm going to marry Mary, you're going to marry Henry, we'll live in a big, happily bowl of a group. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure she knows her mind, and her mind says she's not interested in Henry Crawford, she's not secretly attracted to him. Yeah, she thinks he's a decent actor, because before that happens, they put on the Crawfords and a friend, with Tom's encouragement, Edmund's brother's encouragement, they decide to put on a rather racy, inappropriate play. And Edmund, having a high moral compass, does not approve of this play. And he knows their father will not approve of the play, and he keeps trying. He does try to talk them out of it. He keeps insisting. He tells everybody, he's insisting that, you can't do this play. This is inappropriate. But they all keep insisting, oh, it's not a big deal, or don't be such a stick in the mud, this is just fun, and blah, blah, blah. But then, and also Fanny, tells him that she also doesn't think, she's hesitant about it, but she also agrees that it's not a good idea, but she doesn't want to cause too many waves either. But Edmund is going to her for her advice, especially when he decides that maybe, so we won't get a bunch of outsiders, maybe I should do the one part that's available. And she's like, no, you shouldn't resign yourself to that. You shouldn't do that. And he also does it, of course, because Mary doesn't want to act with a stranger. She doesn't want to act with nobody that she knows. She wants to act with someone that she's familiar with, that she's comfortable with, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's total crap. She just likes you. And, at one point in the story, Tom gets sick. He's the older brother, so he's going to inherit the money. Mary doesn't want to marry him because he's boring. She's more interested in Edmund. And he gets sick. And she talks to Fanny and admits that, she hopes that maybe Tom will die. And then I think she's partially joking, but also mostly serious. She's like, maybe Edmund will die. Maybe Tom will die, and Edmund will get the money, and he'll be the family heir, and we can get married and live happily ever after. Which, sadly, a lot of women, it was all about they need to marry for money. Back in the time when Jane Austen was writing and alive, the society she grew up with, and it was a big deal about marrying for money for a woman, unless she herself was pretty well off. And like I said, she has no idea that Fanny could tell on her and, reveal her secrets. And she does eventually, but not until after Edmund sees the light and realizes how he can't. So, kind of a spoiler. So, yeah, that is a very interesting, very entertaining read, and it's one of the ones that I really like now, after Pride and Prejudice. I almost want to say I like it better than Pride and Prejudice, but that's probably not true. I just want to be, controversial and say, I think something else is better than Pride and Prejudice, because everybody loves Pride and Prejudice. And I love Pride and Prejudice. Who doesn't love the Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet romance? But at the same time, when it comes to, if you're talking books in general, that's out of all the works by Austen. But in a general, it's not my all-time favorite book. It's not my all-time favorite classic either. But if I had to choose between all the Jane Austen novels, then yeah, it would be, putting in order, Pride and Prejudice would come first. So I am going to watch the movie version if Netflix or Amazon or if YouTube TV has it on there. Ideally, I kind of want to watch the one Billie Piper as Fanny, because I love Billie Piper. I've only seen her on. Of course, I've only seen her on Doctor Who, but I just love her on Doctor Who. I never did watch her other show. But I would love, if not though, I wouldn't mind, I would still watch the other version. I can't remember the actress who plays her, I don't know her name, but, dark hair, she looks a little like Audrey Hepburn, kind of, like that classic beauty about her, and I've seen her in a few other works. She also kind of looks like, Emily Blunt a little bit. Especially in the Jane Austen book club. With her, short, but of course, that actress' hair is longer, and especially in the movie. I'm trying to think I do not know her name. But I'm gonna watch the movie, and I think I'm gonna watch that now, or find it now, and then maybe, if anything, I'll stop it and sit outside, but I'm kind of waiting until it's closer to the evening before I sit outside and read my book. Because I want to sit on the deck when it's less hot. And so my birthday will be on Sunday. I'm off all weekend, thankfully. Yay, hallelujah, I'm off all weekend. But I did volunteer to work today and then yesterday. I only worked 3 hours today, but that's because they just asked me to come to sanitize the carts. So I only had to work 3 hours. And then, like I said, I'm off the next 4 days. Or next 3 days. Yeah, 3 days, because I'm working on the 18th. And then because originally we had a vacation plan this coming week, but we had to cancel it because, like I said, with what's going on with the virus and everything. So I did tell them I was available, but I don't, So they might call me so it might work next week. More than just the 1 day I'm already scheduled for. But anyway, I still have not gone back to Barchester Towers yet. But I want to soon. And this one would be for the prompt of an old read. And I guess I would have to include this for the prompt of a book that I had high expectations for or something. Because, I mean, that one I could pick any book for that one. Or I could say, because there's kind of yellow on the spine of this book, and there's orange too in this book. So maybe I could include it for that. I don't know, for the one with your favorite color on the spine. But it's so hard to pick my books because there's so many books here that I want to read. But anyway, I do want to for the scary. If I decide to read a scary book, I'm gonna read this one. I'm gonna get back into reading it. I'm gonna start this one, which is Full Darkness Stars, which is one of King's his collection of stories. I don't know if this is. I wonder if this one is his. I don't know if these are considered short stories or novellas. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, they're a collection of his stories. Like 1922 is in here. Which that became a film on Netflix, I think. Big Driver is a Lifetime movie. A Good Marriage is now a feature film that stars Joan Allen, Anthony LaPaglia, for extension. Okay, it calls it Tales. So I'm guessing these are considered short stories because it calls it Tales. And then I also want to start. I need to start this one, Carnival for the Dead. So that would be a C book, a book that starts with C. And that's for the cat prompt if you want to pet cat. So I think I'm going to use that one. This is not going well so far. The medieval prompt is not going very well. And I still got some tomes to read. That's the other reason why I picked this one, because of the tome. That's the other reason why I decided to stick with this one. And I'm actually, I'm pretty far into it. I'm a little past the halfway point. This is as much as I got to read. So if I just make sure I focus only on this, I could potentially get it done. But that could also mean that I would only get this book read, and then that would mean I only read 4 books this month. Not that it should matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter. But still, again, I like to be able to see the accomplishment of what I read. Okay, so that is going on with me literary-wise. That's how my reading is going. So, as always, love to hear how your reading is going. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't, click the bell notification below to see when I post new videos. And I hope you're enjoying your reading. If you are able to read during this crisis in our society, and I will talk to you all later. Bye!